Hello everyone, it's me again, Callum. What's going on? I'm back after a week. I was gone, which is why this video kind of came out later than I wanted it to, but I also kind of wanted to wait a week in case the beta updated, because there was something that we weren't sure about, but I'll get into that, just to be clear. But I'm glad you're back. First of all, thanks, like my last video, I'm fucking so shocked how that went. Thanks to everyone watching that. I tried my best to answer the comments, but man, like, that was wild. I'm sorry, like, I actually, like, man, like, but yeah, that's that. This is now different character, Luocha. I think that's how it's pronounced. I tried to learn it a bit this time, Luocha, and yeah, he's different in the 1.1 beta. He's not the same as he was in the closed beta. He's not the same as he was in 1.0. He's changed, like Slow Wolf. It's not as bad as it was with Silver Wolf. I can tell you that much already. But we'll get to. But yeah, just prepare yourself. So, oh, and since I got a disclaimer, like I can tell you right now, he's not a bad character. So if you came this video, although the title is positive, but if you came this video think I'm gonna point out 1,000 flaws, no, he's a good character. There is a condition where you shouldn't pull him, which we'll get into. But if you are a fan of Auto Apocalypse from Honkai Impact 3, you're a fan of Luocha. If you're a fan of him, pull him. All right, you got like 7 weeks to save, 8 weeks to save. Go ahead, grind now. Max all the chests, do all the quests, do all the dailies, do the Memory of the Forgotten Hall, all the basic floors, easy floors. Do that and then get him. He's a good character. All right, that I gotta get that out of the way. So before I start seeing anything else, if you want him, you'll pull him. Capiche? Great. All right, let's now get into the nitty gritty. So Luocha got changed in the 1.1 beta, the same time as Soul Wolf did, but yeah, we did that Soul Wolf first because that was more important because he's phase 1. So Luocha's, yeah, by the way, Luocha's phase 2, he's coming out after Soul Wolf, which is why you have a lot more time to save for him if you want to go for him now. So this time around, the changes here, I'm gonna have to go into more detail, so I have the Honey Hunter World website open for Luocha, so we're gonna go over the, oh, this is wrong, but we're gonna get into that as well, but so this is the changes first. So again, I'm gonna do the same as last time. I got all the images, everything open, and I'm gonna go over the whole kit and describe what changed from the 1.0 version, so the version you could play in the story, because I guess we're all at the story at this point already, and what changed from that to the current beta, which people are testing, and then probably is going to be pretty similar to the final release in a few weeks. So, starting with his ultimate, Death Wish. Removes one buff from all enemies and deals imaginary damage equal to 200% of Luocha's attack to all enemies. Luocha gains 1 stack of Abyss Flower. Basically, this is a very simple skill. It's like Pela's, a very simple ultimate. It's like Pela's skill, wherein it dispels a buff. You know, if you've played this, you know, in the story we saw, he dispelled revival. You know that the Mara struck guys can revive. Same as like Pela could do, but he didn't AoE, so that was pretty helpful. And yeah, it's simple as that. And he does 200% of his attack as his damage, and he gains 1 stack of Abyss Flower. We'll get into what that is in a minute. But yeah, so simple as ult. He does damage and he dispels. The change is that he has 40% more scaling, like 40% more motion value scaling on his ult than before. So yeah, it's a buff. Pretty pog. Though it's not as meaningful as it might look here, which we'll get into later. Then we get into the Abyss Flower part, the talent, Cycle of Life. When Abyss Flower reaches 2 stacks, Luocha consumes all stacks of Abyss Flower to deploy a field against the enemy. When any enemy in the field is attacked by an ally, the attacking ally immediately restores HP equal to 18% of Luocha's attack plus 240. This field lasts for 2 turns. When Luocha is knocked down, the field will be dispelled. Also simple enough, you get 2 stacks, so this is 1 ult and 1 skill, which it's not here, so I'm gonna have to show it here. So 1 skill, let me see, yeah, 1 skill here. I don't know why I can't highlight this. Yeah, after the 800. So you do that, you want 1 skill, 1 ult, and you get this talent. this actually got buffed, but not from 1.0 to 1.1 beta, but from the closed beta to 1.0. So you might have seen this. It used to be 3 stacks. Now it's just 2. So that would have meant that you always need to spend 2 skill points and 1 ult in the optimal sense to get this field. Now it's either 2 skill points or 1 skill point and 1 ult to get this. Simple enough. It's kind of like a life steal thing without being one. Like, you do damage and you get HP back. So it's kind of neat, you know, like, and it stays for two turns. We'll get into the numbers of how much it exactly heals based on your stats, but yeah, so overall from a concept it sounds interesting. Passive healing in a sense, you know, you don't need to spend skill points after it's out. For 2 turns you get free healing essentially, quote unquote. But yeah, so that's the skills that changed. His the skills that changed, but his actual skill didn't get changed. Has 60% attack scaling with plus 800. And, oh yeah, importantly, it's pretty important, when one of your allies' HP percent becomes equal or less than 50%, an effect that is the same as Luocha's skill, so, you know, it scales with this level, will occur and be immediately given to that character for 1 time every 2 turns, and it won't consume skill points. So basically, you have a weird sort of emergency button, a panic button, but one you can't control because there's AoE attacks in this game. There is, tanks. So say your DPS, your Sealy gets hurt, but then your Fire MC gets hurt, but Fire MC took a bigger hit, so he gets healed, but your Sealy has less overall HP and defense, so every HP matters more for her. And then, so it's a conditional, but we'll get to that. This is going to be an important thing, so keep that in mind. This is an effect, keyword effect, that procs at 50% or less every 2 turns. 50% HP. And then what changed here is his traces. These, so Sanctified. It used to be the chance to resist crowd control debuffs increases by 70%. This is effect resistance, basically, just a fancy word for it. So he had innate 70% effect resistance, and that's high. That's really freaking high. And now you might see it's gone, but don't worry. So yeah, 70% is pretty big. But instead, what is in the place of Sanctified is when an enemy in the field is attacked by an ally, all allies, except the attacker, restores HP equal to 7% of Luocha's attack plus 93. Essentially, he has gained AoE healing. This is what he lacked before in his 1.0 and his beta kit. He didn't have AoE heals. It was only single target, because either the skill healed you, or you had to you had to attack in his AoE field, in his talent. You had to attack during his talent to get heals, or you had to use a skill point. So, and it was only for 1 target. But now he has this little thing where, since this is for the entire team, you get 4 turns if everyone attacks. That's 28% basically. So yeah, he's gained that now, which is a pretty substantial buff actually. Moving on. Now, through the valley. So it used to be damage received by Luocha from a single attack cannot be higher than 70% of his max HP. This essentially makes him immune to one-shot attacks. So if he has 71% of his HP, no matter how much damage he gets, he wouldn't have died. This is gone now, for your information. Instead, it has now been replaced by the old Sanctified. The chance to resist crowd control debuffs increased by 70%. So, yeah. And this is his Eidolons, which I don't know why this is so low quality. 1 second. This is maybe higher here. This light cone. I'm not going to talk about the light cone. I have a bit of a strict thing where we're at this point in the game where no light cone is really that worth it, except the 5-star from Hertha's shop from Simulated Universe, because all the other ones are just, there's no point to get them really, you know, I guess Evolution is kind of screwed because Breakfast is okay, which is why Jingohen is kind of suffering from that right now, where his best weapon, his free-to-play weapon is 30% almost worse than his, than 1 copy of his 5-star light cone. So, yeah, not exactly Pog. But for this instance, I'm going to make an exception for the Eidolons, because it's kind of wild, to the point where I just need to mention them to pull some sort of to show that something big has happened here. So what it used to be was, for example, E1, if he uses a skill and your ally is full HP, he gains 10 energy. and he has like 100 costs old. So yeah, he gained, he had low energy regeneration rate requirements, but yeah, after using his skill, he would gain a shield, but that is based off your allies' HP, which kind of meant that some characters that didn't have much HP wouldn't really get benefit much from this, and his yeah, and his E6 made him more of a shield breaker. His E6. Just pull Veltlum out at that point. Just get Velt. But yeah, that's what his E6 said. What it is now is, in fact, his E1, when his field is active, his talent, so 2 stacks, allies increased by 20%, which isn't much, but it's passive, and it buffs his healing, so. And then his E2 was changed that so it scales off of his attack scaling. So now it's actually a decent shield. Yeah, wait. Yeah, if he's 50% or higher, exactly. So, and now with ultimate, when he uses ultimate, he literally just like does Silver Wolf thing, but better. Bro's a Silver Wolf power creep at E6. So screw pulling Silver Wolf, pull E6 Luocha. He's more consistent to use than Silver Wolf 5 head. No, I'm joking, but it is kind of insane. I don't want to say I mean, it's over. I'm over like exaggerating it, but it is kind of insane for a abundance character to have attack increasing, a shield, a decent shield, and a damage resistance reducer, because damage resistance is one of the hardest stats to reduce as of now. So, hey, if you're gonna wail on a character, this might be the man. Not gonna lie, this might be the man. But okay, I'm done with that. No more Eidolon talk. We're back to E0 Luocha with a 4-star light cone. I don't want to, like, if you're gonna pull for a 5-star light cone, then just just assume it's gonna be higher. That's it. There's not much of a difference. Look it up yourself. Honestly, I don't like to talk about 5-star light cones, but I have my own reasons for that, my own past, my own bad luck. But yeah, so that's all from the changes essentially. But what I seem to see here that hasn't been mentioned is something pretty important, which is going to be the very big key aspect of this whole character we have to talk about. And that's the fact that so as far as you know, his chance to resist crown cooldown debuffs is increased by 70%. Meaning freeze, imprison, etc. These kind of things that can take you out of the action as a healer do not matter, essentially, because you can stack a bit more and you have so much that you have to be pretty unlucky to get hit by it even. So sounds cool, right? And what he had in the past, so in the past I mean current future, in the latest live version what we're playing right now, in this current build, what he has is the skill removes 1 debuff from a target ally. You know who else has that? Natasha. The skill removes 1 debuff from a target ally. Nearly the identical wording here, as you can see. So it's pretty simple, right? You use your skill, and target has no more freeze, no more bleed, anything negative is gone, right? So at the same time, you can't take him out of the action. You can't one-shot him. You can't take him out of the action, and he cleanses your DPS or your Branya, who can also cleanse a debuff. Well, here comes something fairly negative, sadly. That's been changed. This is a pretty big hit. So first of all, obviously lost his one-shot protection, which you might think doesn't matter right now, but it might matter in the future when they start cranking up Memory of Chaos enemy damage numbers, when one-shots are likely. It would have been nice to have that, but since he's lost that, we're gonna live with it. But what truly hurts is that when the skill's effect is triggered, removes 1 debuffs from a target ally. Remember the word effect and how it showed up in the second half of his skill? Less than 50% every 2 turns? Yeah, this man has an unreliable cleanse now. His cleanse is... you can't control it. It's not like Natasha. It's not like this. You don't just use your skill, and then boom! No more debuffs. Say no to debuffs, No, it's not the case anymore. Instead, you gotta pray, kind of. You gotta be like, oh, please hit Sealy with the debuff, hit Bronny with the debuff, not my Sealy, please. Because, and we don't even know, how it is in actual gameplay, because there's this one witch character, like enemy, that can do AoE imprison, which can imprison multiple characters, and they can also fall under 50% HP. First of all, what if it doesn't fall under 50%? He won't do shit. He's not gonna do anything. He's just gonna stare at your character like, tough luck, kid. Should have gotten hit more. Kind of like a masochist, I guess, but should have gotten hit more. And if they are under 50%, but also your other character's under 50%, they might. It's possible Luocha targets a character that doesn't have a debuff. We don't know exactly how it works, but it's unreliable for that same reason. It's probably RNG, and even if it's predictable, the enemies are RNG. You can't control which of your allies are gonna get hit. And if you're, because again, I'm basically. By the way, fun fact, I did a thing. I did a little thing. I pulled Sealy. I like her. She's so cool. But I also have Bronya's, you know. And Sealy and Bronya is a great combo, right? Because yeah, you know, it gives a turn, and Bronya, you know, dispels a debuff. Yes, can dispel the debuff. So I was gonna think like, so yeah, Luocha is pretty great here, right? You slot in Luocha. I have Welty right now, like image, but like you slot in Luocha, and Luocha like he doesn't get stunned at all because he's broken as hell and he's awesome. Like again, I'm talking like a hypothetical scenario, and then boom, Bronny gets imprisoned, Sealy gets imprisoned. My Luocha is standing there like, I got you, homie. He uses his skill, you know, I'm assuming like the pass kit. And with his, because of his pass kit, he cleanses my Bronya. My Bronya is back in action. She's ready to slay. She's ready to help her girlfriend slay. And then boom, I have one more skill, I have 2 more skill points. I do skill, I go to Sealy. She gets freed from her imprisonment as well. Boom, she's back, she's buffed. Bronya gets her ult, Bronya uses her ult, Sealy does a skill, she gets enough for her ult. I press the button, the nice one button, because she's my first slot away, Sealy, because she's best girl. She does the Starlight Phantom move, and boom, one shot, I win the round. Forgotten Hall, Memory of Chaos, 3 stars in that round, and bye-bye my rewards, you know? It's a pretty realistic scenario if they start cranking up the AoE crowd control. But that's not possible anymore. Let me explain you the scenario with the current kit. My Bronya and Sealy both get debuffed. But because of RNG, my Sealy takes more damage to my Bronya and drops under 50%. Luocha, acting according to his kit, uses his skill. And now, Sealy is cleansed. Sounds good, right? But no, my Bronya isn't cleansed. And my Bronya is a pretty big part of Sealy's damage, you know? She gets crit damage, attack, damage percent, a turn, etc. So now I'm on Sealy. I'm running out of time. I have 2 more turns left. I gotta get these 3 stars. It's past my bedtime. I want my rewards. The Memory of Chaos is resetting tomorrow. Kafka's coming out tomorrow. I need these crystals, man. These jades, man. But no. You know what happens? I go on Sealy. I'm like, okay, I gotta ult, man. I need this to crit. And it crits. But it's not enough damage. Because Sealy loves buffs. Any DPS loves buffs. And she just doesn't do enough damage, and the enemy survives. I don't get 3 stars, I get 2 stars. And then boom, I don't get enough jades. I barely lose Kafka. I become depressed because of how bad luck I get Himiko E6 and 110 pull somehow. And I get 0 Kafkas because my bad luck defies reality because Luocha just didn't save me. And boom, I get depressed. I become sad. No Kafka, no Mobby, parentless, no grass, no bitches, no life. Game is over. Uninstall, break the PC, go to bed, cry myself. That's it. And all because they took away his cleanse. Alright, I'm sorry. I had to do this joke, man. I'm sorry. Alright, but yeah, essentially he does not have a reliable cleanse. So he is worse at cleansing your allies than Natasha. But he has better heals, which we're finally going to get to. So that's it from the kit covering. I've covered his kit now. It's overall a decent kit, but they kind of screwed him by making his cleanse unreliable and occasional. Yeah, that's Luocha basically. So that's his kit. Now we got it, right? He's a decent character. Now for the Exceling. Woohoo! I love my math. All right, so I made an Excel of all the healers we have. Also, fun fact, I think I messed up my Natasha. I just realized that. Alright, let's see. Increases. Yeah, I think this is not right. This is not right, is it? I need to do this twice. Wait. Okay, this should be easy to solve. 1 second. Times 2. Oh no, not in this situation. It shouldn't. I don't know if I'll do it for this situation because at this point you've got so much heals that. Yeah, no, this would be more like this. times 2. Alright, so that's the heals there. Okay. Oh, the ultimate isn't. Wait, no. Is this skill only? Okay, okay, thank God. It's skill only. Okay, so, these are the calcs I've done. Spent some time on them. I've given fairly evenly spread out substats. You know, it's fairly realistic to achieve eventually. I built Luocha full attack because if I want to clear this up now, if anyone's gonna be like, why didn't you give him a crit body piece? Why didn't you give him a image damage spear? Because you shouldn't. He's a healer. His heals are very good. They have decent scaling, but you cannot not build into them because of that. You need all the healing you can get in endgame, and I'm assuming these characters from an endgame perspective. Because if you're gonna talk to me about overworld, and not even simulated universe, just for an abundance simulated universe, you don't need a healer there, honestly speaking. And for overworld, you can run whatever. You get healed for free at the machine. So I'm assuming endgame like levels of difficulty here, which is why he's full attack, full healing, and obviously energy regeneration rate because his ult's pretty important for dispelling and getting a free stack. So that's why I did this. So and they all have energy regeneration rate as a rope because all the healer ults are good. Good. So we got over that. So we got the stats here. I put him on 2-piece passerby, 2-piece musketeer, because I've heard people like I had this discussion where someone told me they wouldn't want the 4-piece where that gives you an extra skill point at the start of the battle in Memory of Chaos because the battle goes for so long that the one thing doesn't matter. Though I argue that it does matter sometimes because some rotations like Jingwen love to have an extra skill point for the first round. But I'm gonna go like this just to, I don't know, be more fair because they can't benefit like. I don't know, I just felt like going for, because it's also more realistic to have these substats on 2-piece. While I went 4-piece here just because, like, we don't have an HP 2-piece, so I don't have an alternative for Bailu and Natasha. Okay. Yeah. Basic attack, he got some damage here. It's pretty low because I assume no crit, so I have to say this. Actually, I get to talk about this finally. Luocha has a lot of good things in his kit, like I mentioned before. You know, he's a pretty decent character. But one thing that you cannot pull him for, you shouldn't pull him for, in your right mind, is don't pull him for image break. Don't think, oh, he's an image character, an imaginary character. Sorry, it's Honkai lingo. Imaginary character. Surely he's good at shield breaking. You know, I don't need Velt anymore. I got Luocha. No. His basic attack has fuck all at break effectiveness. Break effectiveness is the stat that determines how much a shield gets hit per attack, so how much it loses. And his ultimate, bro, it ain't got nothing. It ain't got nothing. Look at this. This is nothing. This is an ultimate. This is a decent, like, this is not even a that beefy guy. And this is nothing. This is a joke. Alright, this is beta gameplay, but it's pretty similar in final as far as I remember. They did not change this about his kit. So, like, yeah, he's not a breaker. Don't use him as an image breaker, you know? Because you're going to be using your skill a lot on him because it's good. It's pretty good. And his ultimate is like, you're not building crit, so that's why. Good. Now to the healing, the important part. So you can see the stats here. I gave him perfect timing, which is I'm considering it's his 4-star light cone. It's this light cone. I got an S1 of it recently. The reason I consider it as a signature is because his own like 4-star signatures. It has 60% like on S1 already. Some 16% built-in effect resistance, and it turns your effect resistance into healing bonus, which Luocha will always max this passive. He will get the max 15 like max that's written here because he has so much from his talent of like getting 70%. Which although that could depend. It says crowd control. I don't know if this counts your effect res as a stat. If it doesn't, it's still his best weapon because effect res and crowd control resistance stack. So it would still be the best to have, but I don't know if it would stack like this. I'm gonna assume it does because it's not that big of a number, and I like to be optimistic about these kind of characters, and especially like Luocha as a character. So I'm gonna be optimistic. If it's not the case, the numbers are slightly lower because you lose just 15%. It's not much, but yeah, that's that. His heal is so 60% plus 800. Yeah, 3,700, which is pretty decent, you know. Let's compare this to like the trial run characters, you know. Let's go here, Jingwen. Let's take like how much HP does this boy have? Okay, shut up. There you go. All right, see, that's more than HP than he has, you know. So with one skill, with one skill, you can max his HP back to full, you know. Same for your March 7th, you know, because I'm using this as an example is because if I use my own characters, they're level 60 right now. And why am I on 1 time speed? What the hell? So wait, let me just, thank you. So, because these are level 80 characters, which is what we're going off of here with Luocha's own stats. So, yeah, one skill, boom, full health instantly. No questions, no commas, whatever. Boom, full healing, which is pretty cool, you know? But it's single target, but it's pretty cool. His ultimate has questionable damage. Its main point is dispelling the enemy buffs, you know, in AoE, which is exclusive to him. It's gonna be great if Memory of Chaos has like a bunch of those revival guys, because that's gonna be pain to deal with otherwise. If you don't have Dispel for all of them, I bet they're gonna stuff Memory of Chaos full of these guys when he comes out. So next patch, because he's perfect there. Because if it's like 3 of these guys, your Pela's gonna take too long for them. But if he's there, he does one ult, and boom, no more rebirth. You can just kill them in one hit. You know, you can proc your Sealy Resurgence on them, because otherwise you can't if they have rebirth, because it doesn't count as a kill. So yeah, his ultimate's good as a utility tool, not as a damage tool or a shield breaker. Pure utility. And now his talent, his life drain, like life steal ability kind of for you. 18% plus 24, as I mentioned before. It's 1110.69. Nice, but yeah, pretty decent, you know. It's 1/3 of this man's health, you know. He does one attack and gets 1/3 back just passively, so I don't see the problem here, you know. He just does and then boom, he has 1/3 of his health back, you know. And then this is what your whole team gets. So, you know, March would get her full HP back in the situation. And yeah, pretty decent. And like, here's the calcs for one character if 4 characters would attack. You know, if March was to attack, if all of them were to attack, then, you know, yeah. Then you would get 2,405.5 HP back for your main DPS, for example. Which, pretty fucking neat, honestly. It's passive. It's for 2 turns. You don't need to go out of your way for it. There's no ult you need it for, although you need to use your ult for it more or less, but you can also just use your skill points, which, if your skill point economy is decent, shouldn't be a problem. So, hey, it's pretty good. It's pretty good healing, man. This is like some of the best numbers in the game right now, like, in terms of passive healing. That doesn't even need, like Luocha doesn't need to do anything for this. Maybe, like, do a basic attack, but, you know. And that's it. That's his healing. He doesn't do much more than that. He has a great skill. He has... Let's check. Okay, yeah. Okay, yep. He has great passive, you know, it's great talent that's just there doing its own thing. So yeah, overall, a very positive healing, but he isn't the only hero in the game. We gotta compare him to Bailu and Natasha, so let's do that. So I started with Bailu here. Same pretty similar stats, but translate over to HP instead of attack. And I swapped over to a healing piece, body piece for both of them. Because I went to attack for Luocha because I was convinced to, basically, because he does damage, so why not increase it slightly? Which I guess, because you get damage, a bit more damage, and a bit more, still get more healing. But if it does turn out that you don't get the max of this because the effect res isn't effect res and it's its own extra stat that only works on freeze and imprison and stuff, then yeah, you'd rather go for a healing body piece. Which honestly, I can do that in a second. Let's do this, and then let's add how much healing body piece. There we go, 34.5%. As you can see, your heals increase, your damage goes down. So this is it now, 2,800. So you get a bit of, you know, it's noticeable, but you do gain 200 more heals here. Though this becomes already overkill, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so your heals do get an upgrade if you were to go for a healing chest piece, body piece, instead of an attack, but you do lose a bit of damage. So it's up to your choice, which is actually also good, because, you know, relic farming is pain. You might get only one good body piece with some, like, effect resistance on it as well, so you can be even more immortal to freeze and stuff. So yeah. But for them, I went for healing piece, so here you go. And yeah, the skill of Bailu, which is, you know, RNG, but I'm just gonna assume it went to like 3 different allies. It goes progressively down by 15%, so it's like worse, but it has theoretical more healing than Luocha, and if it stays on the same character, which has happened to me, then yes, it is more healing than Luocha. Yeah. It is what it is. It's... yeah. The ultimate does there's 1,700 for each character, but it also gives the talent, the invigoration, which is also kind of added here, but I'm not going to do that because that's RNG if your character gets hit or not. And enemy RNG is just painful. I don't like to talk about it, and you can assume these are together, basically. Let's just, actually, let me just do that for you, because you're my great viewers. Here you go. So this is what you would get. So it will be similar with the ult, like the talent. Yeah. He's not that far above, as you can see. It sucks, but it is what it is. So, and she has a revive, which is this much how much you get from the revive. It's pretty decent value, which is good, because if you die, you don't want to die again, right? Because you only get one revive per fight. So yeah, overall, the numbers are similar and better if good RNG, kind of. Not too much of RNG, but yeah, they're very similar, basically, because she gets balanced by the fact that she has a true panic button, for your whole team, which, like you can see, does a lot of heals for the whole team. And yeah, so she has a panic button, but he has a bit more like healing over time. Your characters might stay more HP overall, so they're very like similar, which is the thing I'll get back to in a minute. And then our unsung hero, Natasha, best character in the game, IMO, JK. Don't at me, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, I got her stats here. She's a bit more annoying to calc because she has healing over time, which is hot. I think that fits her, but no, healing over time, it's healing over time. So her skill, these aren't pretty high values, but that's because healing over time adds to it. As you can see, like the total, if they're above 30% HP, because Natasha has a skill, a trace, or it's a talent, but her talent is if your ally's below 30% HP, then her heals get buffed a good bit by like, let me check. Actually, I'm just checking the game. I'm stuck. Let me just leave. No, wrong thing. Wait. All right, sound right. Okay, yeah, it's more. Okay, I actually used the other calc than the level 10 max calc. But yeah, you get a good bit of outgoing healing effectiveness, so that's why the numbers are fairly different, like a big difference here. And as you can see, this is with like total. So if you get another turn after, like 2 more turns after that, because her last additional trace, so this one as I mentioned before, it increases her healing over time by another turn. So as you can see, it's also similar, but Luochas is instant. It's better. It is just played better, obviously, skill. He instantly heals, and that's that. You need to have healing over time for this one to actually be true. Otherwise, it's just this or this, and like yeah. But Natasha's skill cleanses consistently when you use it, so it has a leg up there, as you can see. So, and cleansing is pretty important in this game, I'll be honest. The more you play it, the more you realize that. And then her ultimate has its own healing thing, I did it like this is for one character, and yeah, it's worse than this, but it has healing over it gives healing over time at E6 at E2, so it's 6% plus this. So assuming I didn't do this, let me just do this plus this. Oh right, bruh. This plus this. So yeah, okay, it's similar if you use the ult, but that's an ult. You can do this with 2 skill points. This takes an ultimate, but her ultimate's easy to get, so it sucks, man. I do the math, man. Bro, I love Autopocalypse from Honkai and Pector, I love his personality, his character, like as a person, he's so cool. I like him as almost as much like Veld as a character. I'm a Veld man, by the way. I love Veld. He's a so cool character. But like, by the way, just like platonic, I think they're really cool. Like I look up to them. If you're talking about like, simping, here you go, 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 not anymore. Might have my reasons. Here you go. So I mean this in like a sense. I think they're really cool and they have great stories. They have great character progression. Like the Spoke Apocalypse from Honkai and Pector, that like storyline is my favorite. I love that storyline. I love the parts where you get to play as Otto. Basically, I have screenshots. I'm not gonna show. Like I had like moments where it's like, oh my god, I get to play as Otto Apocalypse. How cool! And it was so cool knowing he's gonna be in Honkai Star Rail, and yeah, it's not actually Otto, but it's close enough to it. He has a similar personality. He's just as mysterious, just as smug. I love it, and I wanted to pull him. I really did. I really wanted to pull him. This is not a situation where I'm trying to talk down on him because I don't want him. I really wanted him, but you know what happened? I got Bailu. I was pulling for Sealy and I lost 50-50-50. but I got Bailu, which isn't a. This is not an L. It's a good. She's a good character. You know, look at the numbers. They're good. They're really freaking good. But it sucks. I have 2 healers now, and Luocha and Bailu aren't that far apart. Because as soon as he lost his cleanse, his consistent cleanse, he became similar to Bailu and Natasha. He's a side grade. Although, if this was a it's not I checked. It's not a mistranslation. The Chinese version translates to roughly the same thing. You can try it yourself. Go to Honey Hunter. Here you go. Go here. Latest bit. No. English. Go to Chinese simplified. Not traditional. Traditional is the old version. You'll notice that if you look at the stuff. It's the simplified version that got updated first. So, and then if you go, you can see this by the numbers. Just the same numbers. And then if you go here, and then you go translate google.com, and you go to Japanese English. At the time, wait, what the hell? Okay, that was. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You didn't see anything, all right? I am very sorry. You did not see anything. Okay, that was just me trying to be fast. It's hard to record videos like this. All right. When the combat skill's effect is triggered, remove 1 negative effect from the designated ally. So yeah, the effect, the word effect keeps showing up. It's haunting this poor man, you know? And as soon as that happened, his heals didn't matter because Bailu already has some of the highest heal numbers in the game, you know? And he would have had to basically make your team unkillable completely, you know, to outscale Bailu. So now he's basically easier to get Bailu. But that's not bad. That's not bad. That's still good. Luocha is good. Not if you have Bailu. If you have Bailu Natasha, you have no reason to pull Luocha meta-wise. If you want to still pull him because he's cool, do it. Sadly, I'm too bound by my shackles of Kafka now that I can't justify going for a character that has no meta relevance for me. I can't give up Kafka for this. Sadly. You know, it is very sad to see this. Because before he was a cheat code, he was overpowered as heck. He had cleanse and effect resistance built in his kit. You know, if you had Bronya in him, like I said, this theoretical scenario, we have Bronya and old Luocha meant no crowd control could affect your healing, your buffing, and your damage dealing. Only your third slot, your shield or your Pela, your debuffer could get affected, which is okay. It's more negligible, you know, but that's gone, and it sucks. It sucks so much. I was hoping it would get changed. I was hoping they might buff him or something like that while I wasn't making this video, while I was gone for a week, while I wasn't at home. But no, this is how it is, and they've intentionally changed the wording. They have changed it so specifically, so deliberately. They took something that Natasha had. You know, again, Natasha had has the same exact wording as he used to have. And if they've changed that in both languages, in the original Sienna, the translators in English, I don't see any doubt about it. This is how it's gonna be. He does not cleanse consistently. But assuming he did, if he did do that, if he got buffed, or if it was some Hoyoverse dev tripping and just mistyping on Chinese and then that got translated, guess what? He is pretty good. He is insane again. As soon as he gets his regular cleanse, he's insane again. And again, you might be like, why does this one thing affect him? Because it's important. We'll play a game where every turn matters in Memory of Chaos. Every turn matters. So a character that can make sure you don't lose turns because of crowd control is so good. If he can regularly be your cheat code, you put him in a team and that team cannot get crowd controlled essentially, with Bronya obviously for example, but if you have a team that can essentially not be destroyed by crowd control effects by putting him in, he's insane, you know? He's a must pull almost. I can't say no character that gives a must pull. Natasha exists. No character is a must pull. I'm not saying that. I'm not gonna say that. That's the wrong thing to say. No, he's not a must pull, but it would be a damn good pull. He would be a good value pull. But now he's just easier to get Bailu. If you don't wanna hope to get Bailu from your 50-50 losses, or if you don't wanna for good reason don't want to get her Bailu from here, yeah, he's a good thing to get. But what if you get Bailu and then you go on Kafka Warp because you save for that as well, and you pull on Kafka Warp, and you get a Bailu, and all of a sudden you have this awkward-ass situation where there's 2 good healers on your account, and you have your Natasha who can cleanse regularly, so you can't just ditch Natasha, because if you give up cleansing, you're throwing. I'm sorry, you're kind of throwing at that point. And then you got this Natasha, and you got 2 healers that are essentially the same. One is cooler than the other, depending on your opinion, but now you gotta pick between them, and then you gotta invest resources in them, and you kind of hate that this happened. You know? And that's the problem. Though, obviously, that's RNG. That might just never happen. I know people who've never gotten some standard banner 5 stars in Jinshin, you know? I've seen that. But if it can happen, you know, I'm just saying. So, because that's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for you. I'm here to tell you the numbers, the reasons, the meta values, you know? And if you don't care about that, then thanks for watching so far, honestly. If you like, really, thanks for that. But, that's the thing. Though I'm not stopping. If you want him, get him. I'm saying this with Silver Wolf as well. If you want Luocha, if you like Auto Apocalypse, pull him. Please pull him. Alright? Tell them we like Honkai Impact 3rd characters. Give us more, okay? I would like more Honkai Impact 3rd characters to be saved from that game before it sinks or something. Alright? But that's it. I can't say much more than that. He's a decent character to pull. He's not bad. But he's kind of... He's not a power creep, nor he's an upgrade. He's a side grade, you know? I guess he has a drip, which makes it better. But yeah. I tell this to you, I say this with great depression in my heart, and with great sadness, but that's just how it is. But I don't want to spend more of your time. I'm very grateful you're watching this video. I hope this is... Oh, wait. I forgot to mention the important... Oh my god, the good thing I remember. So, okay, you know how I was going to mention this earlier, which is why I went to this trial. But you know how Jingwen has Lightning Lord? And how Lightning Lord is considered, as far as I'm aware? I gotta check. I'm not gonna... Let me check the kit before I say something wrong. Before I sound like an idiot, let me just check. But I have a cool little interaction I figured out recently. So, let's go. All characters, Lightning, Jingwen. Someone's Lightning Lord. Okay, I don't know if he's an ally. But assuming he does count as an ally... So, yeah, if he does count as this, then it could mean his attacks could proc Luocha's talent, which could mean free heals, which is pretty cool, and could mean future interactions where if a character... Like, imagine a Jingwen kind of character with, a summon, but that summon has, 5 turns in a row or something. You could get a fuck ton of heals, and at that point, he would power creep Bailu in that situation, but I can't act like that's going to happen. I don't know exactly if that's going to happen. I can't sell you on a character like that, but it's possible. Copium. Yeah, I wanted to mention that. So he might have interactions like allies on your team, like summons, which is cool, but that's it. He's a good character to pull, but he isn't a massive upgrade for your account. If you have a built Natasha, in my case, I have a E6 Natasha because I pulled on the Sealy banner, you know. Here you go. I'm just going to show it so I'm not talking to my ass. I have E6 Natasha here. And that means I have even less reason to pull Luocha. So I kind of got screwed by fate, basically. But it is what it is, as I say. And with that, I end the video again. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day, great evening, night. Leave a sub if you liked it. You know, again, I mean, I made it thanks to everyone who subbed last video. I started mentioning them. That was insane to see. It seems you guys want this kind of content. I hope this is the kind of content you want. Me talking about math and numbers and how it makes me depressing that these characters aren't as amazing as I wish they would be. But I'm gonna keep doing this then. I mean, as long as there's more than 5 people in the world that want to see this, I'm gonna do my best to keep going, which means yes. In the 1.2 beta, Kafka, I am analyzing her. I am analyzing the hell out of here. You know, I'm numbers, team comps, DOT, damage over time. You know, that's what I'm saying. Damage over time, enemies, teams, memory of chaos. What the other side? I'm gonna try and do the best for that. So you're gonna hear me again, and it's gonna look like a more positive video, honestly, because guess what the fuck happened? Guess what the fuck happened last patch? I mean, this beta. You know how there's so okay, I gotta show this really. I'm sorry, I was gonna end the video. I need to show this. Oh, by the way, while I'm showing this, I have to public announcement. I need to say this. Hoyoverse is a goddamn troll, and they lie. This is not when Pela defeats an enemy. This is a mistranslation from the Chinese version where it says when an enemy is defeated, which means that a Sealy getting kills can batter your Pela. So E1 is actually good. E1 is not bad. It's her best it's her best Eidolon. If you have this, use Pela. Pela is a great character. She increased her character's damage by a fuck ton. She has low SP requirements. Pela best girl, okay? I mean, JK, no, I'm not saying that. I'm taking that back. No. These two are best girls. Alright. But she's best support, alright? If you have Bronya and you have Pela E1, use them together with like whatever you want. You're gonna see insane damage numbers if your carry is decently built, alright? Pela's good. Alright. Back to this. So, you know how Kafka exists in this video game since like the release? So, latest live, 1.0, because we all got to play as Kafka when we started this game. They knew they gotta get it somehow. So, pretty smart choice. So, you look at our numbers here, right? Let's do this here. And so you see like this ult, right? While shocked enemies receive lightning DOT equal to 196% of Kafka's attack at the beginning of each turn. Yeah? That's 1.0. This is 1.0 what we're playing right now. That's the latest beta. Because this is data mined, by the way, so they didn't even like check. This is like in the files of the game. You go here. It got buffed. So essentially, they nerfed Soul Wolf. They somewhat nerfed Luocha's vibe, like identity, in my opinion, like his complete identity of like as a cheat code, basically. They nerfed that, and then they buffed Kafka to do even more damage. I don't know what they're cooking. Whatever they're cooking, I'm scared. But it's a buff, although this got nerfed slightly, so it's a bit less. But this is actually pretty big. So I think these counteract each other more or less. Outside, it's all just the same as before. So if they're buffing her right now, I can only hope they're gonna buff her again next patch in 1.2 beta, and I can just have a half an hour of me going, Kafka, let's go, Kafka's the best. I hope that's gonna happen. If not, so yeah, that's it. All right. Oh, all right, I'm done now. Have a great day. Have a great evening. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. Leave a sub if you liked. Leave a like. Oh, if you have a question, ask me in the comments. I'll do my best to reply to them, all right? If you want some equation, you want to know some interaction, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to ask people around. That's what I do. I want to answer your questions. Leave them in the comments, all right? All right, bye. Take care. Adios.